Good evening, and thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. You're here to support the creation of a new National Marine Conservation Area. You're going to learn a lot more about it tonight, and you're going to see some absolutely stunning images. This is one of the ones that we took this summer. Actually, I think that's a Trevor shot that we took this summer, and it is absolutely a fabulous place. So tonight, you're going to get a journey to this part of the world that will crack open your heart and help you connect to this place. And we're going to hear both from the Indigenous worldview and the non-Indigenous worldview just how amazing and gratifying it is to connect to this part of the world.
I bring greetings from the Mushkegowuk Nation in northern Ontario, and it's people like you that show their support for us to be able to do the work that we're doing. Hey, hey, we're higher, hey, higher, we're higher, 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 hey, higher, we're higher.
I wanted to conduct research in James Bay for a long time. I've been working on freshwater and carbon cycling in Hudson Bay. Anyway, I did finally get there. In this photo, Anna Baggio and I are standing on the shores next to these incredible coastal wetlands. And as you've already heard tonight, it's really well known how important those habitats are for biodiversity, for the migratory birds, for the carbon. We're standing there and we're looking out at that horizon, at that offshore James Bay. And I don't know what's going through Anna's head, but going through my head is we got a lot of questions that we need to answer out there in that offshore waters of James Bay to bring that level of knowledge up. What role does it play in this carbon cycling, in biodiversity? How important is it? How does that system offshore there support all these beluga whales? Last summer, 2021, we did get into James Bay on board a ship, and we've started to make some progress at answering these important questions. It's been 50 years since there was a workshop, an oceanographic workshop on James Bay, and we think it's about time for another one, and we're committed to bringing science to the table.
Well, it turns out it's pretty spectacular, and not just for loons. It's one of the most important stopover places for migratory birds in North America.
Hudson Bay and its southern extension of James Bay is home to one of the most unique and significant marine ecosystems in the world. At least 133 species of swimming birds, shorebirds, and raptors frequent the offshore, inshore, intertidal, and salt marsh habitats of the Hudson Bay.
I think this can be our moment to launch Canada, to supercharge Canada into doing more faster when it comes to protecting nature, and we can do that also on the world stage. So let's continue working together. Thank you so much for everything, and hope to see you soon.
Our people use all the lands and the waters, and there's not one place where our people haven't been, in places our people haven't named, Our coastline is over 1,200 kilometers in distance, almost as long as Hawaii's. Taking care of our homeland is very sacred to me, and without it, without the land, we do not exist. Our ancestors sailed, paddled, pulled along the shores of the bay, and traveled along the shores in the harsh winters just to get to their hunting lands. Today, our people still practice what they saw, what they were taught, what they observed when they were growing up as little boys, little girls. And it is my job to carry that, to keep this going. And we want to reclaim those traditional names that our forefathers and our foremothers used as a part of reconciliation. This is a very important part of our Mushkegowuk Marine Project.
After more than 2 decades of working to conserve habitat and multiple trips to the coast, I had never seen so many caribou and calves in one place before. It was like a caribou palooza. Every year, thousands of caribou migrate here. They calve on the coast in the spring and then remain here for another few weeks to escape the bugs, and they like the weather. They walk on the mudflats when the tide is out. They spend part of the year walking on the ocean floor. I think it would be fair to say that we can start referring to them as marine mammals. Who's with me? Yeah, that's right. Marine mammals. In the end, I counted, wait for it, 3,162 caribou. Yay! They're still here.
The environment is pretty unique to Canada. We have continuous permafrost in that part of the country. National Geographic was coming. They were coming from Chicago and another lady from Toronto. They were both females, and we were going to do a story. I was very happy. The plane landed. There was 2 polar bears at the landing area. They were really close, and a caribou standing right beside the polar bears. It was really beautiful, sunny, picturesque. You can ask for more. And the girl from Toronto hopped out of the plane, was excited. And the girl from Chicago, she didn't want to get out. She was scared. So I had to coax her to get out of the plane. It took me half an hour.
So Alex and I, we're documentary filmmakers, and for the last 10 years, we've been traveling the globe making documentaries, primarily through our TV show, The Water Brothers, and through IMAX and giant screen films, about the challenges we face in this world, the environmental challenges.
What if we did another season of The Water Brothers all about Ontario's water, something that we had wanted to do before, and it was just kind of the perfect time to do it. And if you follow the peatlands, if you follow the water in the peatlands, where does it end up? It ends up in Hudson and James Bay. And that's, again, how we ended up there.
And the off-camera voice is my father-in-law, Mr. Peter Garland, who was a radio announcer or radio host on the Chorus radio station in London for over 30 years. And so we've been very blessed to have Peter Garland as our voice.
You're very welcome, Janet.
Thank you very much for being here. I do want to ask for a round of applause of how many of you now are in love with this National Marine Conservation Area. Yes. How could you not be? It's just amazing.
Salt in the water, meet the raging rivers that wade and bay go. Fire on ice, she is melting in Washabe out, where the swampland meets the shoreline. And together we are one like the universe. The sun, the moon, and the stars, the fish and the animals, and all the birds we are. We are standing on the cusp of creation.